What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the BTB Show. Today we're going to be going over probably the biggest unexpected trade of this NBA trade line. It is Anthony Davis departing the Dallas Mavericks just 1 year after he got traded for Luka Doncic. He's heading over to Washington along with teammates Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. In exchange, the Mavericks get Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. Omar, Anthony Davis is a Wizard. How do you feel about that right now? Are you surprised by this?
I mean, to be honest, no, I kind of did expect some type of move from them, kind of like a signaling that they were going to trade AD because they were kind of talking about it for a very long time that they wanted to move on from AD because they kind of just acknowledged the mistake that Nico made and they were just like kind of moving on with it and whatnot. So I really think this is a good move to kind of get off of AD's contract. It is a lot of money for them to pay right now, especially if you are not a team like contending and you don't want to really be staying in the luxury tax if you're not contending. So there's really no point to kind of stay there. I think this might be better for Cooper Flag. I think he can have a little more space to work with. I did like the pairing with him for AD because I think that was a really good defensive big that he could learn from and really get a lot of skills from. Unfortunately, that time was short, but I think him and Kyrie and whatever else they got can continue to do well in the time being. But to talk about the Wizards here, fleeced. They fleeced him. They took him. They robbed him. They robbed him. I mean, I think it is a very good deal for them. Trae Young also being there now, it's going to be wraps for the Wizards. We can move on to the next guy.
I'll go next. I think that this was one of the most important trades of this trade deadline, this AD trade to the Wizards. And I don't think that there was any fleecing in this trade. I think that everybody won this trade. The fact that the Mavs get 2 first, who knows what the Wizards will be in the next couple years. AD is constantly hurt. Trae Young physically is declining, even though he's still the point guard. He can do all those good things. I understand. Who knows what the Wizards will be? Will they be in the top 15? Will they be in the lottery mix? Who knows? But I think taking that chance with these first, a lot of teams have been loading up on second-round picks, so who knows? Second-round picks historically, at 1 out of every 10 guy can be really good out of those second-round picks. So who knows what those 3 seconds will bring. I think that this is a really good trade. I think Anthony Davis paired up with Alex Sarr will be twin terror towers in the paint. I think nobody will be able to get into the paint. Alex Sarr is already a top 5 in blocks. Anthony Davis won a Defensive Player of the Year already. One of the best defensive players in the league. We get that. Trae Young is one of the best lob point guards in the league. He can get the ball to AD, get the ball to Sarr at the top of the key. They have one guy that can roll, one guy that can pick and pop. To go with Trey Johnson, to go with Keyshawn George, who can lock up on the perimeter. Bilal Coulibaly is going to be coming off the bench. Bilal Coulibaly is still there. But Bub Carrington is still there. I think that this is a great trade all around for the Wizards. And to go to the Mavs, we see what Cooper Flag is doing. He's arrived in the NBA. Cooper Flag, every game, his last 5 games, he's had over 30 points in each game. Like, I know he's doing this and losing efforts, but, like, we see what's there with Coop. To get a vet, Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, who knows the sky's the limit for AJ Johnson. He's only, 21 years old. Malachi Branham is a solid rotation guy for this team. Like, they have guys like Jaden Hardy, who was included in this trade, that wasn't even playing anymore for Jason Kidd. I think Malachi Branham can get minutes. I think Marvin Bagley can be a good backup. The haul that the Mavs got, I think is solid too. They got younger, and they're going behind Cooper Flag. They said, hey, this is our guy. We're going to move behind him, and he is our future. I think this is a good trade for the future of the Dallas Mavericks and Jason Kidd as the head coach. I think that this is one of the most important trades, like I said at the top. I love AD with the Wizards. I love the fit. I love the haul that the Mavs got to fit Cooper Flag and the future of the Mavs. Yeah, that's my take on that trade. Whoever wants the floor can go next.
Earl, are you thinking this is going to help the Mavericks long term, or did they give up too much for too little?
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like the Dallas Mavericks, like Jay said, they made the important decision now to build around Cooper Flag. The only way to do that is to get future assets back. I think while Anthony Davis was great, I think he could have been a great mentor for Cooper Flag. I mean, the kid's already learned what he's got to learn. Like, he's already a good defender. He's an elite scorer, probably the best. Not even probably. He's the best player on that Dallas Mavericks roster, hands down. And I think realizing that you have to move guys like Anthony Davis, of course, because of his injury history. We've seen it the years before, and we've seen it this year. He's missed significant time. And having that type of contract sitting on your team unmovable. I was surprised. Like Jay said, I think they did a great job of moving up AD. You got 2 first-round picks in this deal. Would you say 3 seconds as well? I think they got good value. And moving on to the Wizards, man. The Wizards are slowly becoming, I know it's a stretch. The Wizards are slowly taking the Oklahoma City Thunder blueprint. They have a great veteran leadership in Trae Young and Anthony Davis. I still think Anthony Davis has a lot left in the tank, especially pairing him next to Alex Sarr. He's always wanted to play the 4. Alex Sarr is the perfect player to put AD at the 4 and Sarr at the 5. And they can interchange whatever. Both great defenders. Anthony Davis isn't the best shooter in the world, but he's still capable of knocking down a shot. And Alex Sarr this season, I feel like, has increased his three-point percentage. I mean, he's been absolutely balling. So that duo up top, and then just the young core in general. The Wizards made all these moves without giving up a single young player. They still have Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, even Cam Whitmore, who I think like a month ago caught a crazy body. Obviously, he doesn't play a lot, but still a young potential guy. Will Riley as well. He's been getting a lot more minutes. Tristan Vucevic. Not a lot of names people talking about, but a big reason Marvin Bagley was moved because he's playing decent as well. So I think the Wizards going all in on this like really top-heavy veteran core of Trae Young and Anthony Davis is going to yield them. I don't want to get overhyped about championships, stuff like that, but I think they're a way better direction than with their counterpart. I'll say I used to compare them a little bit to the Hawks. I know Hawks fans used to say they were in a better place than the Wizards. Well, I love Jalen Johnson, but that Wizards roster right now is going to be great for the next 5 to 6 years. So we'll see what happens. I think this was a good trade on both sides, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Wizards right now in this rebuild. Well, retooled now, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of years.
Earl, you mentioned the Atlanta Hawks. Coming into this season, I think everyone said that they were the biggest winners of the offseason. Everyone was very excited. They thought that the Hawks would be a contender to win the East. And now just, 8 months later, everyone seems to have just completely forgotten and realized that they overhyped what was actually not those impactful pickups by the Hawks. And I fear that people are doing the exact same thing with the Washington Wizards right now. While I do think that the value that they got Anthony Davis for is undeniable, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad move, I don't think this raises the ceiling of the team that crazy. We were talking about a mid-30s Anthony Davis who you'll be lucky if he gets 50 games out of him a season. Trae Young is also someone who has been more injured in the last couple of years. You might not, going into next season, you might not get 82 combined games between Davis and Trae Young. And again, is that a huge issue for them? Not really, because all they gave up was Chris Middleton. In both of these trades, they gave up their expiring contracts in Middleton, McCollum, and bench players. So it's a low risk, high reward, buy low move for the Wizards. So I like it for them, but I don't think it's going to vault them into championship, conference finals, or even I'd say they might be a borderline playoff team next year. But it would not shock me if they're still in that 9 to 10, 11 range. In terms of the Dallas Mavericks, I think this is too early to trade Anthony Davis. I understand you got 2 first-round picks and you figure maybe this is the last time you'll ever be able to get that for him, but I actually think the opposite in terms of building around Cooper Flag. He's so young and so good already. I don't think there was any harm in running out this Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving kind of older unit around him for the next 2 or 3 years and trying to get him some playoff experience, in his late teens, early 20s, because he's going to be good for the next 20 years. So I don't think there was I don't think there should have been a huge urgency to move on AD and start a total rebuild around him just yet, considering he is so young and he has so much time. But they got at least a pick. The picks are solid, but gosh, it's gonna be tough because I don't think Dallas is gonna be a playoff team this year. They're not gonna be a playoff team next year, probably. Maybe not even the year after that. Will Kyrie Irving get moved in the offseason? That remains to be seen. I would assume so if they're going for a full rebuild around Cooper Flag. So I feel bad for him. I think it would have been nice to see him in the play-in, in the playoffs, getting that experience this year, but it's going to be tough, way tougher to do that without Anthony Davis. As good as Chris Middleton is, he can't be the second option on a good playoff team anymore. So I like it for Washington. I don't think it changes their ceiling too much, though, and for the Mavericks, it's going to be a couple painful years. So if you're a Cooper Flag fan, expect to lose a lot of games in the near future. But with that said, please let us know what y'all think about this trade in the comment section below. Again, one of the bigger ones of the trade deadline. As always, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the places where we're posting content. And we'll be here reacting to all the rest of these trades as they come out. Appreciate everyone for watching. Have a good rest of your day.
Peace.